who brought a rope, a hatchet, and a blue tarp in his car to go meet a an 11-year-old girl for sex. And he had a map of Mississippi and Arkansas. And the reason I think that is because he was going to throw his phone SIM card out so he couldn't be
Right.
tracked and just use that to go find a ditch somewhere.
Uh,
And on top of that, when we approached him, he had a loaded gun on him.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the show. With me, your favorite nobody, Travis Myers. Today I'm talking with Mr. Alex Rosen. Alex is the founder and head honcho over at Predator Poachers, okay, which is an organization that as of today has over 200 convictions for pedophiles all over the United States. He's done some really great work. He's a really interesting guy, and I'm going to leave you now so we can talk to Alex. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for being here. I mean, I know you're a busy guy. I can see you're in the car at the moment. Probably out chasing bad guys somewhere.
Yeah, I'm never not in the car with this job, so.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, I gave everybody a little introduction on you so people know what you're up to. Um, Predator poachers. Let's talk about that a little bit. You've been doing that for what, 6, 7 years now?
So I'm 25 now. We've been doing it since we were 19 years old, and we're a group. We travel the country catching online child predators. We're based out of Texas, and the way we do that usually is by posing as a minor online. We make accounts pretending to be underage kids. Predators across the country message us. They let us know they're a pedophile in some way or the other. We end up approaching them on camera when they go to meet the kid or at their home. And usually we get them to confess to a lot of crimes. We turn over the evidence to law enforcement, and like I said, we record the whole thing. It's posted up on YouTube on Predator Poachers. And as a result of our work, we have arrests in 48 different states, with the exception of South Dakota and Alaska. And we have
Oh,
convictions at 41.
48. I'm sorry. Let me back that up a little because that's impressive. 48 states with the exception of what?
South Dakota and Alaska.
Wow, that's impressive. And that's in 6 years. Now, most of this, for the most part, this is what people call catfishing, right?
Yes, it is catfishing.
It is catfishing. And you create something, I guess, in a chat room or on one of these dating sites or something like that. You create a persona, and this persona is very obviously underage, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we give a lot of indicators that we are underage before they even message the account. And then when they do, we at some point reiterate that we're underage again. And we basically make it very, very obvious that anybody, that doesn't have a demonic soul will not message the account.
Yes. All right. Yeah. I've watched it, numerous times when I came across you. I watched it numerous times on YouTube, and I found it, really fascinating what you do. It's very much like the working man's Dateline is what you're doing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think we're similar to Chris Hansen in the way that we were posing as an underage kid, but and how in our execution of it, I'd say we're a lot different because we'll go anywhere to get one of these pedos. We'll go to their home. They'll come to us. We'll do it in a park, wherever. We don't have a really controlled environment, and
Right.
unlike Chris Hansen, we do talk to them for sometimes north of 2 hours because we want to get every little drop of information we can out of them. And then, yeah, we turn it over to the cops. And I wish we had a $600 million NBC budget like Chris Hansen did, but we don't usually have the cops on standby. But there are multiple departments that do work, that do love what we do, and are waiting for us to call them to go scoop the guy up. So
Yeah.
we have good arrangements.
Now, and let me ask you this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am from my research and talking with you a little bit. Um, Although NBC or whoever it is has a $600 million budget and they put this great TV show on that everybody watches for years and years now, you guys, okay, the Predator Poachers have more arrests and convictions than they do. Am I right with that?
Well, I mean, if they have over 200 convictions, they would have more arrests, but I don't think they do. So
Yes.
we have 200 convictions. I mean, I was just counting my Virginia conviction, our Virginia convictions. Excuse me, it's a team effort. I don't want to say my. We're counting our Virginia convictions, and I mean, just yesterday I was counting 12 people in Virginia alone that we had convicted. We're from Texas, so I mean, if I do the whole thing, I think it's a little bit under 200, honestly.
Wow. Now, do you guys? So you're based out of Houston. That's where you guys are from,
Correct.
and that's your home base. So do you do where you basically collect your evidence, you make contact with these people, and then get in your vans and your cars and your trucks and shoot to whatever state they are, or are you constantly moving state to state to state to state
Well,
as you go?
so the way we do it is we basically make uh, routes across the country of pedos. So if we have a lot of pedos accumulated in the eastern part of the USA, we might start the trip in North Texas, go to Oklahoma, go to Minnesota, go to Michigan, head to New York. Like we just basically make a loop across certain parts of the country. So the most pedos we've caught in one trip in the span of 21 days was in April of 2024. We from April 10th to May 1st, we caught 30 pedophiles in 21 days across probably 10 different states.
Holy cow, that is impressive, my friend. That is impressive. Good for you. Good for you. Good for everybody, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
really I'm so happy again that you joined us, and I'm so happy that you're doing this. And I know that you sadly have detractors, which is beyond me, and I can't understand it to tell you the truth. But from everything that I've seen, you guys don't do anything illegal. If you did,
No,
you'd be getting locked up all over the place.
no,
But
we're
you don't.
very right. We're very very careful about doing it the right way, about letting the pedos know it's voluntary to talk to us. We do not citizens arrest. We don't restrain. We simply have consensual conversations, and you know what? We try to be buddy buddy with them so they admit to a lot of things. And I'm happy to say that due to our efforts, that we have pedos in jail from everything from child molestation against their own kids. Lots of child pornography convictions and lots of times where they're going to meet the kid for sex and they get popped for it. So we have a wide array of things we get them to admit to and to, we unearth.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring something up now, and I hope I don't, I don't want to get into any details or get you in trouble or anything like that. But you did have one arrest, not that long ago, just a few months ago. But as it happened, it turned out to be a what's the right? We were just talking about it. Now I can't think of it. A harassment complaint, um, by somebody who was employing a pedophile. Do I have that story right?
Yes, that is what happened. So that was in Branson, Missouri. I got arrested in March for harassment, which is Missouri's the only state in the country where harassment's a felony, which is crazy. But
Yes.
it started in October 28th, 2024. We caught an individual named Joshua Teague who was going after who he thought was a 13-year-old girl. And during our conversation online with him, he says how he wants to go have sex with our 13-year-old girl decoy. He sent his penis picture. He talked about molesting his own sister, not only molesting her but raping her. He talked about how, and I quote, how his sister loved his big dick. And mind you, his sister was 12 years old when he said he raped her.
Yes.
So we approach him in person on October 28th, and he admits to me that he was in fact going after a 13-year-old decoy. He admitted to sending the penis pictures to who he thought was a kid. Of course, as they always do, he sugarcoated what he said in the messages about his sister, but he did admit to sexual contact with his sister when she was 12. He gave me where it happened. He gave me when it happened. He gave me how many times it happened. He said my thing went into her thing, and he blamed it on him being asleep and on this 12-year-old girl having her period. And I'm sure you've heard, the child molesters, their number one excuse is I was asleep when it happened. I've heard that
Yeah.
so many times.
Yeah.
Even the day before we caught Joshua Teague, we were in Shreveport. We got a guy arrested named Dominic Zelazny. He was 22 years old, and he admitted to molesting his 4-year-old sister. And he talked about the reason it happened is because he was asleep. The 4-year-old touched his penis, and he just went along with it. His version of events. So I've heard that I was asleep excuse so many times, and that told me that he actually did it. So anyway, we call the cops. They do put him in cuffs. They hold him in jail for 24 hours. District attorney in Taney County, Missouri, where Branson is, Bradley Hughes, refuses to press charges on him. I don't even think anybody watched the video of him molesting, excuse me, of him saying he molested his own sister, because that was never looked into, was never passed on to the correct county. Um, we gave him we gave them all the account info so they could preserve it and get access to the full chat messages. We had everything ready for them to go, and they completely neglected an admitted child rapist go walking through their streets. So, as you know, with criminals, especially pedophiles, of course he reoffends 3 months later. He messages our decoy account, the same exact decoy that he got in trouble for the first time, saying, "Oh, these people posted a video of me, but I still want to have sex with you, though." So he still thought the kid was
Yes.
real.
Yes.
And then he talked about his job at Steak and Shake and said that because of the video, he has restrictions at work now. So he wasn't fired, despite him saying the most grotesque things in the video. And also, let me add, he also got arrested in 2020 for sexually harassing a 17-year-old employee at that same Steak and Shake. He sent her 58 penis pictures, and he told me that she liked it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and guess what?
Unbelievable.
Then those charges were dismissed for whatever reason. I mean, there was no clear reason why they were dismissed. But anyway, he was still working at that Steak and Shake, and he had restrictions at work now because of the video. And he said he wasn't allowed to drive to work. He couldn't be in the front of the store. So to me, that sounded like they knew something was up with him. And
Sure.
rather than
Sure.
just not having him work around kids, they still kind of just had him there. So anyway, he messages the same decoy account. Then he proceeds to message another decoy account, and he sends his penis picture again. He talks about raping his 12-year-old sister again. And so at this point, this is 5 sex crimes that I know of with this piece of shit.
Yes.
So first one,
Yes.
the 2020 sexual harassment of the underage kid at Steak and Shake. The second one, him raping his own sister. The third one, him going after our decoy the first time. The fourth one, him going after our decoy the second time. The fifth one, him going after another decoy. This is 5 sex crimes against children that I knew about. And you know what? I went to his job this time to go approach him. I wanted to talk to him, and I was hoping, like, hey, man, you know what? If nothing happened to him the first time, I'm hoping if it's done in front of people and, you know, if he's caught at his work where people have eyes on what's going on, something will happen. So I did not want to cause a scene in the store, which is what ended up happening. But I tried to talk to him. I tried to have the employees to like say, "Hey, man, I just want to talk to him about this." And they weren't really going for it. He didn't want to talk to me, which I understand. It's the second time. He knows what happened the first time. So I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I start reading the messages out loud in the store, and I say, "Hey, this guy is working here. He's a pedophile. He's trying to date a 13-year-old again for the second time in 3 months." And you know what? Hey, something had to happen. The people of Branson have a right to know that this
Absolutely.
guy is doing this, because if this guy has gone undetected 5 times that me, myself from Houston, Texas knew about, people have the right to know about this guy, especially if he's working around kids, and especially the fact that he
Well,
sexually harassed a kid.
and not for nothing now, it's obviously a spiteful act by the manager or whoever it is that's pressing
Sure,
charges against you,
sure.
okay? Because they're upset that you're taking an employee away from them, but shame on them that they have this guy working for them to begin with.
Well,
Putting
it's
all of their waitresses. I'm sure they have a bunch of young staff,
sure.
who are now in danger by this guy.
Yeah, it stinks because if the cops just did their job the first time, this wouldn't have even been an issue. And
Yeah.
so what got me arrested was the owner of the store. I didn't know she was
Well,
the owner at the time.
and I'm not defending the police in this case, but the courts. You mean if the court said they had taken him into custody, but the courts let him go, correct? The
Well, it
district
wasn't
attorney's
even.
office.
It didn't even get to the DA's office. And you know what? I don't know. I think it was conjunction because his case was not even assigned to a detective.
Wow.
So
Wow.
there wasn't any, okay, Alex, we got all your info now. We're going to see what the DA says. There was just no,
Yep.
it was not assigned to a detective. The PD and the prosecutor's office dropped the ball on it. So that's why I say both of them. So
And again,
anyway,
something that I'll say. Let me say this again
sure.
for our listeners, who are listening right now. Okay, everything that I've seen that you've done so far on YouTube. Okay, because you post everything for everybody to see. All
Right.
right. It is all so damning because they all, again, they admit to it. They're all confessions. They confess repeatedly to these crimes. I mean, as a detective, man, talk about a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Talk about an easy case. And as a prosecutor, talk about an easy case to prosecute. You know, they they, they should all immediately go to a plea deal because there's no way you're getting out of what I just watched. You know,
Out, out
in the hour
yeah.
show that you put on.
Out of the 200 convictions we have, only 2 have went to trial.
Outstanding,
So
outstanding. And understand that people that are watching us right now or listening to us. Okay, to have 200 arrests, okay, in 6 years is phenomenal work. And then, I'm sorry, not 200 arrests.
conviction,
You've had hundreds and hundreds of arrests, 200 convictions,
right?
okay? And to have only two of them actually go to trial, that is phenomenal, Alex.
Thank
I
you.
commend you on that, sir. That's really good work. Really, really good work. So,
Appreciate it. Yeah. So this lady comes up to me in the store, and we had a verbal disagreement. She ends up being the owner of the place, and I guess she's known him over the years. And yeah, I mean, basically, I asserted to her that, hey, this guy's a pedophile working here, because I didn't know who she was when she first came up to me. So I'm like, there's a pedophile working here, ma'am. And you know what? We had a disagreement about it. I asserted he was a pedophile. She asserted he was not a pedophile, and we exchanged some words about each other. It was nothing. No threats were made from either of us, but like basically, she didn't have anything nice to say about me, and I didn't have anything nice to say about her. And somehow I get charged with that for felony harassment. But you know what? I don't really have any ill will towards her, because you got to think, we have two different realities of who this guy is. I mean, obviously, the reality I have of him is the actual reality, and she knows the facade he puts up, and that's what these pedos do. They manipulate everybody around them. They manipulate children. They manipulate every. So, uh, you know, while I do think that, like, while I think, like, man, the signs have been there for years. Like, you should have probably known. I can't say that. I can't. I don't think that she was. I can't say that she was like going out of her way, fully knowing he was a pedophile and defending him. Like, she knows him as probably the employee who's probably pretty nice, who probably does what he's supposed to do, and who probably told her, "Oh, that video of me, those were just some people pranking me or something, and they were just trying to lie about me." So that's the person she knows him as. I know him as the person who, to my face, described in detail how he raped his own sister, how he's babysat kids his whole life, how he went to jail for sexually harassing a 17-year-old employee at that Steak and Shake, the one who wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old. I know him as that person, and she knew him as this probably nice guy. So when you have
well,
those two things coming together, of course there's going to be some type of conflict. So I don't falter for that. And what I will say is, they did end up arresting the pedo, Joshua Teague. And of course, they only arrest him and charge him now because I did it in front of everybody. People know now that he was let go. But,
yes,
to her credit, she has not. His bond is only $2,000. Like, it's 20K, but it's 2,000 to get him out.
yes,
She has. I mean, she's the owner of multiple restaurants. She has the money to get him out. She has not got him out. She has not paid for a lawyer for him, and
good.
I think she knows now. So I have no bad blood with anybody in that Steak and Shake. While I am disappointed that, like, dude, how could you just, like, I mean, screw this guy. Why would you be his friend? But, like, I can't say there's any bad blood, because I think everybody's on the same page with what he is now.
Good, good, good. So you did good there, and hopefully this court case that you have coming up is it because it's still an open case, correct?
Right. So his court case is moving along pretty quick. He had his preliminary hearing 2 days ago, and they have found, shocker, they have found, which they could have done this in October. They have found probable cause that he in fact attempted to commit that felony and that misdemeanor. The misdemeanor is the dick pic, and it's moved on over to circuit court. My case is still open too, which I think is ridiculous, because I mean, it's like, dude, I clearly just am not a criminal. Um, my case is open too, and I have, like, my first hearing June 17th. So mine's going pretty slow, and his is going pretty fast. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, hopefully his case will exonerate you. I mean, I can't see this going anywhere, and I really, really hope it doesn't.
I
Now,
mean, you would think, right?
we're touching, on this right now, just because that's kind of where the conversation went. Um, but overall, for the most part, you find you have a positive relationship with most police departments and court systems so far, right? They're pretty happy with you overall.
Oh, super positive. I mean, I can name a PD in almost every state we have an arrest in that I can say, oh, this PD likes us. I can go there again. We can get another pedo arrested in 2 seconds. So yeah, no, most cops and most courts we've been to have been tremendous. And, there's just a lot of pedophiles, and I know the justice system kind of suck, but where we've gone, it's been great. So
Good. Good. That I like to hear that. Now let me ask you. So you had this little incident here, okay, which sadly ended in arrest and basically it was an argument. But I'm sure you've had numerous altercations over the years. Yes.
um I mean, when we first started when I was 19, we were a little bit more like, this guy's a pedophile because we were just like kids running around with cameras, just have the time of our lives. But, um, you
Having the
know,
time of your lives. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But we have, I mean, yeah, there's been a number of them. I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but I mean, yeah, it's been pretty peaceful mostly.
Good. Well, that's good to know. I mean, no physical attacks to speak of.
There is one that happened recently in Brazoria County, Texas, where this pedo, he was deep, deep into child porn. He ran away from me and his phone dropped while he was running. So I pick his phone up and I'm like, I'm snatching that phone. And he's like, give me my phone. Like he was panicking because he knew it was on the
Yeah,
phone.
sure. He's had all kinds of
And
evidence on there.
yes, and so he tried to ninja kick me, like give me a roundhouse kick, and I just kind of avoided it. And I had to pick him up and body slam him to the ground. And then after that, I kind of gave up and just like had the phone because I wasn't trying to make this into something bigger.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, he runs off. His name was Sylvester Jaggard, and I convinced him to come back and talk to me. I messaged him through the Instagram account. And I'm like, dude, you're only 22. Let's get this taken care of. And he comes back and he admits that he was going to have sex with a decoy and to trading child pornography pretty regularly. So the cops have his phone now,
Unbelievable.
and it's an open case. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. Wow. So that's surprising. No threats. No. I mean, it just seems to me with so many cases, you've had to have some kind of fairly negative interactions.
Yes, there was twice that we've had guns pulled on us.
Oh, that's a story for you. What happened there?
So we had a John Rector in Massachusetts, and he didn't want to really talk to me. He talked to me for like 5 minutes. He's like, I know I fucked up, and that's it, but I'm done talking. I'm like, okay. And I see him like go into his car, and I'm like, John, what are you getting? And he doesn't respond to me. Dude, there was just something in me that knew he was grabbing a gun. There was just some
Right.
type of like self-defense or flight mechanism that kicked in because he had something. So I took off and ran. And, the camera guys, and we split up in 3 different areas. And when I get into the apartment, like I have this kid open this apartment door for me. I'm like, bro, just let me into the little lobby thing. And he calls me John on my phone because the reason I confronted him was because I had a quote unquote package for him, so he had my number. And he's like, "Where are you?" Like in the most demonic voice I've ever heard. And I was like, "Holy shit!" So luckily the cops came and arrested him for the weapons charges, but it's Massachusetts, so
Yeah.
that's all they got him on.
So they didn't get him for any of the pedophile nonsense.
No, I mean it's Massachusetts, so if you're like this rapist pedophile chasing me with a gun, wait, a gun? Oh shit, we gotta get him arrested for that. So
Wow. Wow. That's a shame. That's
yeah.
a shame. And you said there was another time a guy pulled a gun on you?
Right in Oregon, Medford, Oregon. His name was Edward Barrett, and it was 2022. And basically, the subscriber sees where we're streaming this interaction, and he goes up to Edward, calls him a sicko, and then Edward like loses shit and just brandishes the gun and points it at him, and we're like, "Holy shit!" And basically, Edward like stormed off after that, like he thought better and just kind of walked off. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was crazy. I think the cops arrested him for like menacing and something with a weapon in Oregon. I have no idea.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, again, let me commend you again because people don't realize that either. How much you are sticking your neck out though. You know,
Right,
and you're not a police officer. You're
right.
doing this out of the goodness of your heart because, well, it's in you. It's a calling now. It's become a calling. You have to. You can't say no to this, can you?
Oh, 100%, man. I think it's the best thing in the world that we're doing. And yeah, it's very
How many of
fulfilling.
you are there?
17 of
How
us.
17 of you.
Right.
Wow. And you are the, you know, main guy,
The head of
founder, head
poachers.
honcho type fella, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. but there's 17 of you. So you have people, working the computers, working the cameras. And now on the videos that I've seen, it only seems to be you doing the interviews.
Right.
But does anybody else do that kind of work?
So we have two branches. So we have Predator Poachers Long Island. You should definitely go on your show. And we have Predator Poachers Illinois. And I lost count of their arrests at this point too. They just started this year, but I think combined they probably have over 15 arrests, I'd say.
Outstanding. See, now this is news to me. So you say two branches, you have three. There's Houston, Long Island, and Illinois.
Correct.
Very interesting. Yeah, I'd definitely like to talk to some of these people. Again, what I think you're doing is terrific. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you. Well, I got a couple more questions to ask you. I want to ask you about repeat customers, because I did notice one time that you would grab the guy who you would grab before, and I'm sure this happens on occasion. But before we get there, let's take a little break, all right? And then we'll come right back to that. This is a 2024 American Eagle gold coin, which I bought along with several others last year. I'm very happy to report that its value has gone up over 40% in the first year. See, I was encouraged to buy some gold by a financial advisor friend who suggested I be more diversified with my investments. She said gold and silver was a very safe place to park some money, as well as a good hedge against inflation. So I took her advice, and all I can say is I wish I had bought more, as it's been so very, very good to us so far. Now, I purchased these gold coins from the good people over at stackingboise.com, who could not have been nicer, more knowledgeable, or more helpful. Now, I'm certainly no financial expert, but I will say from experience, if you're looking to make an investment, buy yourself some gold. And some real gold that you could hold in your hand, just like this coin you see here. And if you do, then do like I did and get with the good folks over at stackingboise.com. I'm telling you, they're good people, they took good care of me, and they'll take good care of you. Again, that's stackingboise.com. And hey, tell them Travis sent you. You are. Hey, how you doing? It's me again, another nobody, Travis Myers. And today we're going to talk whiskey. I know most of you think of me as an all-American patriotic type guy, and you are right. But when it comes to whiskey and drinking whiskey, which I do, I always go for the Irish stuff. And my choice when it comes to the Irish stuff is Powers Irish Whiskey. Established back in 1791. It's a triple distilled, oak-aged whiskey. Powers is simply magic. It also happens to be the #1 selling whiskey in Ireland, which has got to say something, because if it's good enough for the Irish, it's good enough for you. So the next time you raise a glass, fill it with Powers, and think of me, another nobody, Travis Myers. Hey there, true crime fans. Let me introduce you today to the Cold Case Initiative. The Cold Case Initiative is a foundation that donates money to smaller police agencies all over the country. It does this in order to offset the costs of scientific, forensic, and DNA testing, with the hope of solving cold case homicides and other horrific violent crimes that otherwise would remain unsolved. Please, if you have it in your heart and a little money to spare, go to www.coldcaseinitiative.org. Again, that's www.coldcaseinitiative.org, and lend a hand where it truly is needed. Be a part of solving a cold case. Every little bit helps. Know that 100% of the donations that go to the Cold Case Initiative go to agencies that are desperately in need of the help. So please, if you can, do the right thing and make a donation. Thanks, and all the best, my friends. All right, everybody, we are back with my friend Rales Rosen here, who is the, again, founder, head honcho of predator poachers. And well, actually, you just told me something that's very interesting. So you have, again, I know you guys were out of Texas, but you have a Long Island branch and an Illinois branch, which is
Correct.
I'm very happy to see that that's growing. I think that's great. When did that happen?
It happened this year. And it's crazy.
2025?
Right, right. And the it's what's crazy is I both talked to Aaron and Mike, those are who run the branches of PP Long Island and PP Illinois. I both talked to them like I both talked to them the same day. Like I met them both or first got into contact with them the same day. So it's weird meeting both of them. Like it was a Christmas of 2023 is when I met both of them, and for a year, for over a year, Mike, and he still does. He edits for me. Then he started PP Long Island, and Aaron. Funny how we met each other. We caught his neighbor on Christmas Day in 2023, and he was it the day before? Yeah. We caught him Christmas Day 2023, and his neighbor now is doing 5 years.
Wow.
So what's crazy? So his name's Thomas Boucher, and we caught him. We suspect he was trading child pornography online, and he admitted he did it. He admitted he viewed all these videos. But a few weeks before he got there, he wiped his phone, and it wasn't. He was not talking to us online. He just pedos sometimes they just go dark and then they come back. So we just caught him at the wrong time. But the cops took his phone, they dumped it, nothing was on there, despite his admissions. And what it did though is our video, it gave his granddaughter the courage to come out and say he molested me when I was younger, because the family never believed her. But based on our video, there's now supporting evidence that this guy's in fact a pedophile. And the state's attorney there, which is the prosecutor, Abby Din, she's one of the best humans I know. She still wanted to use our, if he were to take it to trial about the molestation, she wanted to use our video supporting evidence that he would do something like that. But he ended up taking a 5-year plea deal, and he's in the Illinois State Prison right now. So me and
Wow.
Aaron just kind of hit it off from there. And I didn't really talk to him until August of 2024, where I needed help finding somebody in his town that I just could not find. And he found him for me. And I'm like, hey, man, come on the cash. And then, he got the idea.
Wow. Wow. Now, here's another thing. Something that I saw. I mean, we just mentioned it before the break that you have had at least one repeat offender, but I believe there's more. Correct?
Oh, God, oh my God, man, there's so many of them. I got arrested in Branson because of a repeat offender.
Right.
The day I got out of jail in Branson, we caught another repeat offender, Blake Lore, a foster dad. We actually caught him in Benton, Illinois, where Aaron lives. Um, we caught Blake Lore in Texas first. He admitted to child pornography, but I think it was like another case of like he viewed it, he saw it, but it's not on his phone. So I don't know if anything happened with that. But he got a new phone. He texted the same decoy, and he's like, "I still want to meet up with you and have sex." And I told the decoy, I'm like, "Hey, dude, tell him you moved to Benton, Illinois, because we know Benton, they do not give plea deals to pedos. The only reason they gave one to Thomas Boucher was because the victim didn't want to testify. But in a case like ours, where there's no like real victim, like there's no plea deals for these people. So I'm like, yeah, send him to Benton." And he happy as shit. He packs all of his stuff. He drives 10 hours to Illinois, and oh my God, when he saw us again, he just broke down and was devastated. And he ends up getting arrested, and he's still in jail to this day.
Good. Good. Good, good, good. And now for our listeners too, so people understand when I say repeat offender, I don't mean that they're out there repeating in the world, repeating as far as you catching them. So you have literally caught the same people numerous times. Numerous times. They never learn their lesson.
Yeah, I mean, we had a Mike Carter and he got such a light sentence, it pissed me off. He was a sex offender in uh, Hoover, Alabama. We caught him. The cops arrest him sometime later, and then we see him on an alias on Instagram, and I'm like, no fucking way, it's him. And he messages our decoy account. This time we couldn't find him though. I guess he got kicked out of his house or something. And like his son was saying he doesn't live here anymore. And I'm like, I bet you he does. But whatever. So I try to reach out to Mike, and I'm like, hey man, come talk to us. You're caught. and he just blocked us. But I went to the police station. I said, "Hey, man, we caught this guy. He's out on bond right now, but here you go." And they ended up arresting him again.
Very good. Very good. Now it's very obvious to me that you do very much enjoy, putting these guys on the spot and getting them arrested, and
Oh, it's the
as you
funnest
should,
thing ever.
because it's good work. Do you have a favorite case? A favorite a favorite pedophile, if I can, that you've grabbed?
Well, man, I would say my favorite one ever was Kevin Cook in 2023. This one's a depressing one actually, but I think it's my favorite because we caught him in so many contradictions and he just completely broke down. We noticed him on a Facebook group and we noticed him in a picture of his daughter, and it wasn't necessarily a sexual picture that everybody would catch, but we noticed on daughter's lip there was like a fluid right here. And my decoy's like, "Hey man, should I reach out to him first?" And I'm like, "Yeah, do that." And which we usually don't do that. But we reached out to him as like a fellow pedo dad, and Kevin's immediately like, "Hey man, how far do you live from Iowa? Come play with my daughter. I want to start getting her into it." And
Wow.
he invites us over on he invites us, says, "Come on Sunday." That's when I have custody of her again. And obviously I show up on Friday. I'm not trying to show up when she's right there. And, he's like scared. He's devastated. He's like, "I was trying to do the same thing you were." And I catch him in all these lies. I'm like, "Well, did you go to the cops?" He's like, "No." And he gives me everybody's work schedule because he's like, "I'm never alone with her." But he ended up just slipping up with everybody's schedules. He ended up slipping up, and there was a 4-hour window on Sunday that he was alone with her. And I'm basically like, "Hey man, obviously there's like some issue," like, and he blames it on his stroke, and he blurts out, he's like, "Well, I kind of like her smile." And then from there we started just like picking at it, and he ends up admitting to having child porn of her on his phone and to molesting her. And
My
right
God.
now Kevin Cook is doing 25 years in Iowa for an array of molestation charges. So
Good.
I am very, very happy he's in jail, and
Good.
I haven't met like his daughter yet. One day I definitely want to do
Yeah.
something for her. But one of the daughters, like, I guess, I mean, friend is kind of the wrong way to put it, but I guess somebody in the community, obviously an adult female who's like familiar with the baby mom and the daughter, like knows them pretty well. I guess family friend of the daughter. I still talk to her to this day, like every couple months, and it's sad because this is really a glimpse of like truly what it does to a victim. Like I'm just hearing her talk about how she still needs counseling. She's still, and it's like a lifelong thing. How she still is like damaged from what happened, and sadly, it seems like that whole apartment complex was like, it's so sad what his daughter went through because of him.
Oh,
So
it's horrific. It's horrific. And we quite often, I'm sure you've heard this, you travel all over the place with cops and doing different things with police officers, but in the Bronx anyway, we always call them kind of ghosts. They're these cases that, whether you're able to solve them or not able to solve them or whatever it
right,
is, just these horrific stories that stick with you for the rest of your life. That's
right.
it. It becomes part of your makeup now. Um, and I'm sure you have some that are, and of course I don't want to pry, but I'm sure you a young man that you are, doing this for 6 years, you probably have quite a few ghosts yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm really mentally jaded by it. I mean, I think I'm pretty decent at separating the words from what they're actually doing. And,
Yeah.
we've caught a lot of people with child pornography. I mean, our biggest child porn bust was Kate Horton in Midland, Texas, with over 396,000 images. And our most recent big child porn.
396,000.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's like, it's like I just get them to admit to it. I don't see the abuse happening, which thank God. So to me, it's like just
Right.
words. But I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure a detective who like dumps that phone and goes through it. Holy shit, man!
I know it's horrific. It's horrific, you know. And again, well, it's with anybody, but especially with children because they are, innocent. They have
Right,
no part of it. There is no truer victim than a child,
right.
which is freaking horrific. And now with all of this, truly wonderful work that you do. And it is. Again, I can't commend you enough for this. I wish I was there with you so I could shake your hand. But amazingly, you still have detractors. People I want to talk shit about you and the work that you're doing. I read doing, reading up on you before I had to talk to you. There was a California, news outlet that seemed just they didn't outright come out and call you names other than, again, that you're an online vigilante group, you know. Wikipedia seems very slanted against you for whatever reason. Whoever wrote that decided that they didn't like you or the work you were doing. And even, what was it, Newsweek? There was a Newsweek article. I'm sure you've read all of this nonsense because it is your life, you know. Um, how in the world can people be against you? What was it that they said? I have it written down here. Give me a second here. They go on to say basically how you're a right wing extremist, anti-gay,
True,
vigilante,
true,
all,
true, true,
all,
true, true.
all of these things, and uh, it's beyond me. It blows me away, that anybody looking at the work that you're doing would not commend you on it.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, I'm a right wing concerned citizen. I'm definitely not a vigilante, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really. I mean, between two consenting adults, it has become a slippery slope, obviously, with like the whole trans kid stuff. But that in itself, I don't really care about. It's more so I'm against it because it's turned into a slippery slope. But anyway, right wing extremists. There is no right wing extremism. It's just common sense to want criminals to be put away for a very long time and to want
Well,
no income
and I'm with you
tax.
100% there.
So
I don't understand it. I really don't understand it because that's how simple it is. These
right,
these people, these the bad guys are doing bad and they have to be stopped. That's how simple
right.
it is. And you're willing to go out there at, I mean, I know now you have a support system, but for years you didn't. It
Yeah.
cost you money to do this. You did this on your own.
Oh, yeah. No, I think. My God, I didn't even make like I didn't make any money. Like, I mean, sure, like pretty much, I had nothing in the bank for about 3 years doing this. So really, only the last 3 years when I started to kind of I'd say turn it into success. But yeah, I think the distractors are three things: pedos themselves, jealous, or just they just like chaos. So the
Yeah.
person who wrote the Wikipedia article, I don't have a screenshot of this. It's a new phone, but go into their profile. They have written articles on like lolly, which is like kid anime porn. They've written articles on like other pedophile related stuff. Like basically, this is the
All
clinical
right.
term for this instead of just, wood chipper fodder. I hate to sound cliche there. So, I would go on a limb and say they're probably attracted to kids. They could sue me if they don't think that. But second, people are just jealous. I mean, dude, my life is awesome. I employ my high school friends and we travel the country catching pedos. I'm sorry, man. Sorry whoever wrote that article. Like you're a fucking loser journalist, man. I'm sorry to say.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
three, it's I think it's just chaos because they try to say the cops don't approve of this, but then in the next article, something unrelated, they'll just write how bad the cops are and how just brutal they are. So like, what do you want, man? Do you just like criminals or what? So I think it's just those three, and those are the main detractors.
Right. Obviously, from what you told me about, that was Wikipedia you're talking about, correct?
Right.
That the same person is, I don't know if I want to say writing pro pedophilia articles, but is somewhat sympathetic, okay, to the
Yes.
well, like we have
Yep.
the whole map thing now, which for listeners who don't know, the a map is a minor attracted person where they're trying to change our language from pedophile to map to whitewash the situation, if you will.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah. So that
shameful.
is
It's shameful.
yeah, it's interesting people. There's very rarely somebody who looks like a normal person goes against what we're doing. So
Another question I have for you, Alex, is when you go in, well, again, you're not scooping them up, you call the police to get them, but when you go in for your
right.
interviews, okay, how often do you show up, and they actually recognize you?
Good
Because
question.
there is, for lack of a better, there is a pedophile community out there. These people are into it, and you must be enemy number one in the pedophile community. Do they recognize you as soon as you show up?
There's been a few that have, and I think we have like a 3 out of 6 success rate of talking to them. I've had the door shut on me. They're like, "Oh, you're Alex Rosen. I'm not talking to you." Said that verbatim by a guy in New Philadelphia, Ohio, Jason McRobbie. But we've had another guy who's like, "I watch you on Rumble," and he came to talk to me. He agreed to talk to me. I think his name was Oh God, I think Curtis Blevins in Johnson. No, not Johnson City, in Kingsport, Tennessee. He's from Blount County. He traveled to Kingsport. He admitted to, basically just having an issue. But gosh, what was I going to say? But yeah, no, I think I got recognized a few days ago in West Virginia. The guy didn't want to talk to me. He's 26 years old. He didn't say I recognize you, but like he's
But you could
perpetually
tell.
online, and I think there's something going on
Yeah.
with that.
And how often too? Obviously people recognizing you, but I know I've had this in cases myself, and I've seen watching your show where not only are they so very, very open with you, but they almost want to be caught. Is it a relief to them to be caught?
There's a few that I think it is a relief to them to be caught. I mean, the the most relevant one that comes to mind with that is a Steve Holland, who's doing 6 years right now in Washington. He was a sex offender we caught, and he walked to the station to turn himself in, and I I don't think any of these people are sincere. I think they're all just manipulators, but either he did a really, really good job manipulating, which I'm sure that was a factor of it, or he was just sincere, but he seemed to genuinely feel bad about this whole thing. Like he admitted, like he's like, I should not be on the streets, and he turned himself in. He never came out that door. He's doing 6 years right now, which is very long for Washington State, by the way. It's like New York's sister state. So Steve admitted to a 5-year-old victim that he was not on the registry for. Like, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to talk to everybody in your life, and we know this. He just straight up said it. He's like, you know what, I did this, and I think he genuinely felt bad. And I applaud him for. I mean, he should have just killed himself, but I applaud him for at least turning himself in.
Yeah. Funny that you say that now. Did you, the whole, he should have just killed himself. I do believe somebody that you interviewed did actually off themselves afterwards, did they not?
Two people did, yeah.
Two
So the
people
first
did.
one was in 2022 in Fenton, Missouri. We caught a Richard Wood, and this is a guy who had a very nice life. I think he was probably making 6 figures, or at least close to it. He had a pretty nice house, pretty nice area of Missouri, and we caught him. He admitted to having child porn on his work iPad. His boss somehow found out, and before the cops even did anything, because we called the cops that day, and basically they wouldn't come out, so we had to go to the station or something. And then the feds called me the next day because there was like so much child porn involved, and I was like, then I never heard from the feds after that. I'm like, wait, what? Why they only called me one time? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
But turns out his boss went to his house, took the iPad. And this is after we left. Took the iPad, turned it into the cops. So obviously there was just a shit ton of child porn on there. So Richard ended up killing himself, and I found out because I saw like an obituary for him on Facebook. So then a few years later, 2 years after that, we caught a Tony Letcher in Hanson County, South Dakota. Funny enough, and he was not a sex offender, but he was supposed to be a sex offender. He got convicted for molesting a 9-year-old in 1996. The South Dakota Supreme Court overturned it due to like just a technicality of like a prosecutor like not letting a witness go up. I mean, he fucking
Yes.
did it. And we caught him with all this child porn as young as babies. And when the cops came, he slipped inside his house and blew his brains out. And taxpayer money saved, and kids are safe too. So.
Yes. 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 No, I have a hard time finding any sympathy in when it comes to
No,
touching
there's
kids
not.
at all. No, not at all. Um, yeah, and that being said too, I don't know if I asked you or not before, so I don't want to repeat questions on you, but with all of these guys that you've grabbed and locked up over the time, have you ever come across any, uh, you know, people that were wanted for other serious crimes, like I say, murders or rapes or anything like that. Did I ask you that already or no?
No. So, I mean, yeah, we've caught people with like open warrants or whatever, like, whatever. I mean, that's happened a few times, but we caught a guy, Michael Nephew, in Tullahoma, Tennessee in 2021. He had a warrant out for him for child pornography. And he was a sex offender, so like I don't know why they didn't just like pick him up. But he invited our 8-year-old decoy over to his house, and when we caught him, the cops came, they obviously saw he had the warrant and they scooped him up on that. Now he's convicted. But we caught a guy this February named John Underwood who brought a rope, a hatchet, and a blue tarp in his car to go meet an 11-year-old girl for sex. And he had a map of Mississippi and Arkansas. And the reason I think that is because he was going to throw his phone SIM card out so he couldn't be tracked, and just use that to go find a ditch somewhere. And on top of that, when we approached him, he had a loaded gun on him. And, he dropped the weapon and we cleared the chamber and just separated the gun from him. And yeah, he got arrested for that. And God, he was just there's something so dark about the guy. Like, he was very, very evil. And he's currently still in Arkansas County Jail.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you snatched him up. That's a very, very scary. I mean, that's, all what we like to call telltale signs, you
Yes,
know?
absolutely.
Ah, I tell you, man, I'm so glad we got together. I really am. Thanks so much for giving me a little bit of time today.
Thank
Is,
you, Travis.
are there any stories, anything that, you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
Well, I mean, I think we covered a good amount in a short amount of time, but yeah, I guess by the time this by the time this drops, 'cause, I know you said 6 to 8 weeks, we'll have caught this guy named Dylan in Illinois who is meeting a mom and 2 kids for sex, and his whole fetish is poop and piss, and he wears diapers, and he's an engineering student at the University of Illinois. This guy has his shit together, but he has
Yeah.
a diaper fetish where he shits in his diapers, and he wants to introduce that to the wife and to the mom and the 2 kids, and obviously have sex too. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, so I guess that'll be interesting to see if it goes down.
Oh my God, it's a bizarre world you live in, my friend. It's a
Yeah,
bizarre world. It's a bizarre world out there, you know? What? Yeah, from in your point of view, okay? I mean, I've learned about this. I learned about it in the police department when I was in the cops and stuff. But things seem to have changed so much, okay? And I don't believe, well, we know that crime in general, as scary as it is, crime is actually much lower than it was 30 years ago,
right,
you know? Both violent crime, I mean, back in the 90s was tip top of
right.
of crime in America. But that being said, it seems like more and more of this really strange, odd, twisted, more pedophile stuff than ever. Is it actually more, do you think? Or is it more these phones of ours? You know, is that
Well,
giving people greater access, or is it turning people on more? I mean, like pornography itself is, eh, I mean, unbelievable. The stuff that I hear about and have seen pornography wise, which was never the case just 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You know?
yeah, no. So I think there's the same percentage of pedophiles and people attracted to children in the country as there was 30 years ago. But I just think they have a 24/7 way to offend now. So it seems like there's more of them because, rather than just like stalk the park for 10 days and hope a kid comes by, they can go on their phone and just do whatever the hell. So that's why.
Yeah, it seems so much more prevalent, and I want to try to be, you know, honest and educated and smart and know what I'm talking about, but it still shocks me. I don't know why. Again, uh, uh, with everything that I've seen over the years, why does it surprise me so much? And I guess it's just because it's so heinous. It is
Right,
so
right.
heinous and so disgusting to us and so unnatural that I I don't know. It's beyond me. But again, let me thank you and commend you for the work that you're doing, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for putting it out there.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I'm going to try to get a hold of your friends too, if they ever want to come on and talk about it again. And please be careful. All right,
For
be
sure.
careful. You're a young guy. I'm gonna hate to see something bad happen to you on TV. All right,
Right,
be
right.
careful.
Will do.
Keep fighting the good fight, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All the best, brother. All right, everybody. There you have it. Mr. Rales Rosen. All right. I know I commended him during the show. Let me commend him one more time on sticking his neck out and really doing a good thing. Really doing a good thing. All right. Saving children all across the country. You can check out his work and everything his team does on the Predator Poachers channel on YouTube. Okay, again, that's the Predator Poachers channel on YouTube. And while you're at it, hop over to For Boston's media channel, all right, and get more of us right here on the Another Nobody Show. Until next time, my friends, all the best. Hey, how you doing? Another nobody here, Travis Myers. This one's going out in particular to all my drinking friends out there, because I got a new favorite thing, and it's called Shanky's Whip, and it is magical. It's Irish whiskey mixed with a little caramel, a little cream, a little vanilla, and it's heavenly. What more can I say? I suggest you pick up a bottle. You can have it as a shot with a cold beer, like I like. On the rocks, it's great. Mix it with a little cola. I promise you, you're going to love this stuff. Next time you raise a glass, think of me, another nobody, Travis Myers. Hey, do the right thing. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of my nonsense. All the best, my friends.
Buy our books!
Listen up. This one's important. I'd like to try to encourage you, please, to give to the Stephen Siller Foundation, Tunnel to Towers, at T2T.org. That's letter T, number 2, letter T.org. Do good for those who've done good for you.